Hey everyone, welcome to Homeschool, and we are continuing with the chapter called Electricity, where we have studied many interesting aspects so far. And let us come to the end of the chapter. The topics remaining is heating effects of electric current and then power as well as energy. Right? So, with these two topics, we are going to complete the chapter Electricity. Today, let us talk about heating effects of electric current and what applications does heating effect has. Let's see what formula we can have for heating effect and related problems we will solve in a class. Clear? Fine. See, the concept is very simple. Heating effect of electric current. That means whenever electric current passes in a circuit or in a device, generally heat is produced. So wherever electric current is there, generally heat is produced in that particular device or circuit. Clear? This is what we mean by heating effect of electric current. So the big question in front of us is how and why this heat is produced. So you might have observed in your real life situations. So whenever you keep your mobile to a charging for a long time, when you touch your mobile, you feel hot. When you touch the mobile charger, you feel it being hot. Same way when you keep laptop for a charging or when you use a laptop for a longer time, you touch and see the laptop, you feel hot. Right? Laptop will become hot. Same way, TV. When you watch TV for hours together, at the end, when you touch the TV or when you touch the stabilizer of a TV or something, you feel those getting hot. Even the fan, everything, every electronic gadget, when you use it for a longer time or when you keep it for a charging for a longer time, heat is produced in them. How do you know that heat is produced? Because you are touching and seeing, right? You are feeling it hot. That means what's happening inside? Heat is produced. Okay. So when more current continuously for a longer time, when it get passed in a electrical devices, generally more and more heat can get produced. Clear? So here we are going to learn how and why heat is produced. So my question is how and why heat produced when current flows in a circuit or in any electrical gadgets, right? See, let me take a very simple circuit, right? Imagine this is some device having a resistance R. Okay, so each and every device will have certain amount of resistance, right? So I am taking a device which is having a resistance R, and that device I have connected to a battery. Okay, I connected to a battery and a switch. It's a very simple circuit, and we have a voltage of V, and imagine a current I is flowing through a circuit, right? So this is the direction of flow of current. Fine. See, as long as the current keeps on flowing through this particular device having a resistance R, you will find heat getting produced in a device. So, how is heat produced in a device? See, we all know battery is the main power source, right? Battery sets the potential difference. So potential difference is the reason why electrons are moving in a circuit. Okay, so potential difference or the energy that is there in a battery is giving a push to move the electrons, right, from one end to the another end. So when these electrons, when they move into the device, okay, this is my device, separately I'm drawing here. Okay, so when electrons move in a device, what happens is the device will have certain amount of resistance, right? So what happens here is electrons will undergo collision. Okay, so here in the path of electrons, there would be so many atoms and there would be so many impurities also. And there are other electrons also, right? So the incoming electrons, the flowing electrons in a circuit will collide with other atoms. Okay, and they may collide with another electrons only. So when they collide, automatically heat is produced. Say for example, when I clap my hand, what do you mean by clapping hand? The two hands are undergoing collision, right? I am colliding one hand with another. When I continuously clap, what you would observe? You would observe the heat generated between my hands, right? And the same way with rubbing also. So when I rub the hand continuously, what happens? The heat gets produced. You feel the hands getting hot, right? So what is responsible for the production of heat? Collision is responsible. See, when I clap, heat is produced. When I rub, heat is produced. So when two things collide with each other, heat is produced generally. The same thing here. When electrons are continuously colliding with each other, actually electrons are losing their energy here. Okay, see, with certain amount of energy from a source, from a battery, electrons are moving. And the moment they come into the device and when they collide with each other, they lose their energy. And that energy is getting converted into heat energy. Understood why heat is getting produced? So when the electrons collide with other atoms or with other electrons, their energy is lost. They are losing their energy. That energy is getting converted into heat. Okay, so this is how heat is getting produced in the electrical devices or in electric circuits. Got it? So let me write few points here. Heat is produced. Heat is produced due to collision of electrons. Collision of electrons. Okay, so actually what happens? Electrons loses energy during collisions. Okay, and this energy gets converted into heat. Okay, so this is how heat is generally produced in the devices when current is flown for a longer time. Got to know? So now with this we can clearly understand that heat is actually directly proportional to resistance of a device. Resistance of a device. Yes or no? Say if the device has more resistance, if it gives more objection to flow of current, more objection to the flow of electrons. After all, what do you mean by resistance? Resistance is objection to the flow of electrons or current, right? So when a device has more resistance, then more collisions occur. Okay, resistance is due to again the collisions only here, right? So when you have more resistance in a device, more collisions occur. If more collisions are occurring, more and more amount of heat is produced, right? So definitely I can write heat is directly proportional to resistance of a device. Okay, and then heat is directly proportional to the time. Yes, for example, you take a TV. TV will not become hot just after 15 minutes or 20 minutes of watching, right? But TV can become hot after 10 hours or 15 hours of watching. Definitely. That means more the time the current flows in a device, more heat can be produced. Clear? So definitely heat produced is directly proportional to the time. More the time the current is flowing through a device in a circuit, more collisions, you are giving chance for more collisions to happen in a device. If more collisions occur, definitely more heat is produced, right? So I can write heat directly proportional to current. And I can also write heat is directly proportional to current. Yes or no? Current in the sense flow of electrons. When electrons start flow, then only you would observe a collisions happening in a device having resistance. Yes or no? If current doesn't flow, electrons doesn't flow. Current doesn't flow in the sense what? Electrons are not flowing. Electrons are not moving. When electrons are not moving, then how would you observe collisions between the electrons and how would you observe the heat generation? Right? So definitely more the current flows in a device or in a circuit, always more the amount of heat produced in that particular device or circuit. Clear? So definitely I can write heat is directly proportional to current. Okay. And now if I can join all of them, I can always say H in the sense heat. Heat is equal to, I square R into T. I in the sense current, R in the sense resistance, T is time. Heat always depends on current, it depends on resistance, it depends on time. When these factors increases in a circuit, then more amount of heat can get produced, more collisions can happen, so more heat can get produced. Okay, so this particular formula we call it as Joule's law of heating. Joule's law of heating. Okay, very important formula. H is equal to I square RT. And now let us try to derive this Joule's law of heating. Okay, just based on a casual explanation, based on a logical explanation, I have given a formula and I am telling you Joule's law of heating. But you have a derivation in your syllabus where it can be asked for board examination. Okay, so now let us learn the derivation of Joule's law. Derivation of Joule's law of heating. This is very important. So learn carefully. 3 stars in the sense, very important concept. Right? Fine. We all very well know that voltage is equal to, V in the sense voltage, right? Voltage is equal to work done divided by charge, that is Q. Okay. So now what is work done? Work done is equal to V into Q. Yes or no? And many times I told you work done is a form of energy. And here energy is there in the form of heat. We are talking heat as a form of energy. Okay, work done is also a form of energy. So I can write W is equal to energy. Here about which energy we are talking? Here we are talking about heat. Okay, so can I write W is equal to H? Here work done is nothing but heat only. Okay, so work done to produce heat. Work done is a form of energy. But which energy we are talking here? It's all about heat. Heat is also a form of energy. So here W is equal to H I can write. So instead of W, I will just write it as H. Okay, H is equal to V into Q. Remember, this is the first basic formula one has to remember. Okay, so for every formula I will put 1 star. The formulas that you have to be remembered is indicated with star. That means this is a very important formula which can be used for solving numericals. Okay, fine. Again, which equation we have to derive? We have to derive this. Okay, so for initially we got this basic equation from our work done. Clear? And now H is equal to, can you apply Ohm's law here? What is our Ohm's law? V is equal to IR. Yes or no? So can I write in the place of V, IR? Definitely. So in the place of V, I am writing IR. Okay. And also, what do you mean by Q? We have a basic formula for current. What is that? I is equal to Q by T. Right. So Q is equal to I into T. Yes or no? So instead of Q, I will write I into T. I into T, right? So what did I get? H is equal to I square RT. Did I get my Joule's law of heating? Definitely. So when derivation is asked for Joule's law of heating, this is how you have to derive. Start from the formula of work done. Okay, so where do you find work done? In the formula of voltage. Voltage is equal to work done by charge. Work done is nothing but a find of energy. So about what energy we are speaking here? Heat energy. So work is always is equal to heat. So H is equal to V into Q. In the place of V, I will write IR because V is equal to IR. This is what? This is our Ohm's law. This is our Ohm's law, right? Okay, in the place of Q, I will write IT because the basic formula for current I is equal to Q by T. Okay, so on substituting that, I will get H is equal to I square RT. So this is the second and basic important formula one has to remember. Okay, so again I can derive some more formulas from this. Watch carefully. See here, we have got H is equal to I square RT, right? Fine. So this is one formula. See, I will substitute something else in the place of I. Say from Ohm's law, what is our Ohm's law? V is equal to IR. This is our Ohm's law, right? So what is I? I is equal to V by R. So instead of this I will substitute V by R. So what do I get? H is equal to V by R whole square RT. Right? So H is equal to V square R square RT. One R, another R gets cancelled. So H is equal to V square RT. This is another important formula from Joule's law of heating. Okay. So formula number 1, formula number 2, formula number 3. And one more formula I will give you which can be used for numericals. Okay. See here, H is equal to, we know, V into Q, right? Right? But what is Q? Q is equal to IT. So instead of Q, I can write I into T. This is another formula. H is equal to voltage into current into time. Always consider time in seconds. Okay? And voltage unit is volts, current I unit is amperes. Right? So this is another formula. So how many formulas I gave you? Formula number 1, formula number 2. This is the main formula which we call it as Joule's law of heating. Okay. Second formula. This is our third formula. This is our fourth formula. So according to a question they ask, we will select a suitable formula and then do a problem. Okay. So remember all the 4 formulas. Actually, you no need to remember. If you know the basic one, you can able to derive all this from that. Right? But anyway, let me list out all the 4 formulas in one corner so that we will go for the numericals. Okay. So what is formula number 1 here? Main formula. H is equal to I square RT. So another formula, H is equal to the basic one, V into Q. V into Q. Next, H is equal to V into I into T. Just instead of charge, I am writing IT. Okay. Next, H is equal to this particular formula that we derived. H is equal to V square by R into T. Okay. So these are the 4 formulas of heat. Clear? Heating effect of electric current. So now let us go for numericals. Coming to the first question, an electric iron of resistance 20 ohms takes a current of 5 amperes. Calculate the heat developed in 30 seconds. So first, try to write the given information. So once you have written the given information, you will come to know what is given, what is not there, what you have to calculate. Then you will come to know what formula to select among the 4 and then substitute, calculate. Clear? Very simple. Let me write the given information first. So what is given? Resistance R is given, that is 20 ohms. Later, current of 5 amperes. Current is given, that is I is equal to 5 amperes. Calculate the heat produced. H is what they are asking, right? And then time is given. What is time? 30 seconds. You have to be careful with the time because sometimes they will give it in hours and minutes, where you should definitely convert the time in seconds. Okay, fine. So heat they are asking, resistance is given, I is given, time is given. So which formula you will select? Resistance is given, time is given, I is given. So the basic formula you will select, right? That is the Joule's law of heating. That is H is equal to I square RT is the formula you will use here. Because I is given, R is given, time is given. Right? So substitute everything. H is equal to I. What is I here? 5 square into resistance 20 into what is T? T is 30. So H is equal to 25 into 20 into 30. So do it. 25 into 2, that is 50, right? So 50 into 3, that is 150. 150 and how many zeros? 1020. So this much joules of heat is produced. The unit of heat is joules because heat is a form of energy, just like a work done. Work done's unit was joules that we have already studied. So the same case here with the heat also, the unit is joules. Still, if you want to simplify, you know what? 3 zeros. Instead of 3 zeros, you can write K, right? Kilo in the sense what? Say the answer, I can also write it as 15 kilojoules. What do you mean by kilo? 1 kilo is equal to 1000, right? 1000, 10 to the power of 3. So 3 zeros in the sense what? 1000, 10 to the power of 3. Instead of 3 zeros, I can just put K. K in the sense 3 zeros, like 10 to the power of 3. So this will be your final answer, or you can leave answer here also, not a big issue, right? So very basic problem. Coming to the next problem, compute the heat generated while transferring 9600 coulomb of charge in 1 hour through a potential difference of 50 volts. Okay, let me list out the given information. So what is the given information? What is given? Charge is given. See, 9600 coulombs. Coulomb is a unit of charge, right? So charge is given. That is Q is given. How much? Q is equal to 9600 coulombs. Okay. Then what else is given? Time is given. Time is equal to 1 hour. Right? Fine. And 1 hour, if you convert it in second, how do you convert? 1 hour has 60 minutes. Each minute has 60 seconds, right? That means 3600 seconds. 1 hour has how many seconds? 3600 seconds. Okay, so 1 hour, you cannot take the time in hour for the problem. You should consider it in second. So 1 hour, if you convert it into seconds, it is 3600 seconds. Fine. And voltage is given. V is equal to 50 volts is given. Right? So what is the formula you will select? Charge is there, time is there, V is there. Right? What you have to calculate? Heat you have to calculate. So which among the 4 formulas you will select? Huh? See here, this formula you will select. Yes or no? Because voltage is there, charge is there, okay, time is there, fine. Okay, time also is there, right? So which formula? Either this or this you can select. Okay, let me select this because voltage is there, time is there, and then charge is there. If charge is there, I can calculate I, right? Because I is equal to charge by time. Charge is also given, time is also given. So can't I calculate I? Definitely. So let me consider this formula. Got to know? According to the given information, suitable formula among the four you have to consider. So which formula I am considering? I am considering H is equal to V into I into T. V is given, T is given, but I is not there. I we can calculate, right? H is equal to V into, what is I? Q by T into T. This T gets cancelled. So H is equal to V into Q. So this is the final formula. So directly you can use this also here, right? So what is given? V is given. What is V? 50 into Q is how much? 96000. So what is the answer you will get here? 5 6 are 30, right? 5 9s are 45. 45 plus 3, 48, right? And how many zeros left? 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. So your H is equal to this much joules. Your H is equal to this much joules. I can simplify my answer, right? Say if I put a point here, 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? So 4.8 into 10 to the power of 6 joules. So this is how you have to represent the answer. Okay, say for example this point here, from here I am bringing a point here. How many digits before I am bringing? 6 digits, right? So 10 to the power of 6 you have to put, right? So this is what the problem. Clear? So selecting a formula is very, very important here. According to the given information, you should select a formula. Okay, let us see the third question. 100 joules of heat is produced each second in the sense 1 second, in a 4 ohm resistor. Find potential difference across a resistor. So first let us write the given information. So what is given here? Heat is given. H is equal to 100 joules. Then what else is given? Time is given here. Time is equal to each second in the sense 1 second. Okay. Resistance R is given, that is 4 ohms. What they have asked you to calculate? Voltage is what they have asked you to calculate. So which is the formula you will use? R is given, time is given, H is given, V you have to calculate. So which formula has all of them? H, T, R and V. In which formula do you find all the three? This formula here, right? Because what they asked you to calculate? Voltage they asked you. So voltage is here, resistance is given, time is given, H is given. So which is the formula you will use? The last formula. So H is equal to V square by R into T, right? Fine. So V square, V is what you have to calculate. So rearrange the formula. H, this I will bring here. So it goes to numerator, H into R. This one I will bring this side. So it becomes divided by, right? So H into R divided by T is equal to V square. So V square is, V is equal to square root of H into R divided by T. So now you substitute everything. V is equal to square root of H is what? 100 into R is what? 4. Time is what? 1. Okay. So V is equal to square root of 400. That is V is equal to 20 volts. Square root of 400 is 20, right? So V is equal to 20 volts. Very simple. But selecting a formula is important. Since voltage they have asked, R is given, H is given. So what is the relationship between H, R and voltage? Definitely the fourth formula, right? So this is the formula we have considered and we have done the problem. So these are some varieties of problems on heating effect of electric current, that is Joule's law of heating formula, right? So 3 different models which are there in your NCERT book has been shown here. So for each problem, different form of formula we have used. So here, given information you should analyze carefully and then select a suitable formula, right? Fine. And now let us learn the practical applications of heating effect. So heat is generally produced in a circuits or electrical devices. What is the use of that heat? Where and all, in which of the devices that heat we are using in our day-to-day life is what we are going to study in application. Coming to the first application, you know what? The electrical devices that we use it in our day-to-day life. Say for example, iron box, electric iron box, electric heater. You take oven, you take toaster, the one which makes toast, bread toast. All these devices work based on Joule's law of heating. All these devices work based on Joule's law of heating. Yes or no? Joule's law of heating. Say for example, these devices would be having high resistant resistors. Okay, so those resistance is the reason to create more collisions between the electrons. If more collisions, more heat would be produced. Yes or no? So that particular heat is what we are using for ironing a cloth. Say iron box, the surface of the iron box gets hot. Why? Because maybe inside high resistant resistors are there. That's creating more collision, so more heat is produced. So that heat is what we are using for ironing a cloth. Say similarly, water heaters also. The coil of a water heater, coils will have high resistance, guys. Okay, so you know what happens? More heat is produced the moment you supply the electric current. That more heat is responsible for heating water, for boiling water, right? Similarly, oven, toasters, all these devices actually work on Joule's law of heating. That means the moment you pass current through them, due to the more resistance present inside them, more collisions do occur, and more collisions leads to heat generation, right? This is one basic application of heating effect of electric current. Now the second application. Have you all observed electric bulb? So what does the electric bulb contains? Electric bulb contains a small filament, right? A small wire-like thing you would observe in electric bulb, incandescent bulb. So that filament is actually made up of tungsten. It is made up of tungsten. Tungsten is a metal, okay, very hard metal which is having high melting point. It has very high melting point of around 3380 degrees centigrade. Okay, and this tungsten has very high resistance, very high resistance. So when current is passed through this filament, since tungsten has very high resistance, wherever there is high resistance, wherever there is current flowing in a particular time, definitely heat is observed. Since it has high resistance, more heat is produced. More heat is produced, guys. Okay, and the filament becomes so hot. See, whatever I am writing is important here. Filament becomes so hot that it emits light. That's how the bulb actually glows. Clear, everybody? So bulb has a filament, a wire-like thing which is made up of tungsten, very high melting point, and also it has very high resistance. So when current is flown, when it is connected to a circuit, current will flow through the filament, isn't it? So when current is flown for some amount of time, due to the high resistance, apply the heating, Joule's law of heating, Resistance is high, current is flown, more and more current, and also it is flown for certain amount of time. Definitely more heat is produced. For that heat, the filament becomes very much hot, so much hot that it emits certain radiation, and that radiation is making a bulb to glow. Okay, so this is another application of Joule's law of heating, or we can say heating effect of electric current. And the third application is fuse. Fuses. What do you mean by fuse? Fuse, this is a common word we keep hearing in a day-to-day life, right? So fuse is actually, it protects circuits or devices by stopping flow of high electric current. High electric current is called fuse. Fuse is actually a device, okay, a device which contains a metallic wire. This is actually connected to devices. Say we have so many devices in our home which are very, very costly, right? Say for example, TV is there, refrigerator is there, ACs are there. Automatically, in case if more current is passed into them, the devices will get burst off, the devices will get burnt, they will get damaged. So actually, who will protect from those situations? Fuse will protect them. Okay, whichever costly items are there, they are actually connected with fuses. Whenever there is high voltage or high current flowing in the circuit, it will protect those costly electrical appliances. Okay, it will stop allowing the flow of high electric current into them. That's how it actually protects them. Okay, so let me take one example here for the better understanding. This is your device. Say, let me take this is a heater, electric heater. Okay, and this is connected to a source. This is a circuit. So current will flow. I amount of current will flow, right? Say the amount of current taken by this heater is, let me take around 4.5 amperes. How much of current it needs? 4.5 amperes. Okay, so maximum it can take around the 5 amperes. But if you are giving 10 amperes of current or 20 amperes of current, its capacity, maximum capacity is to hold 4.5 amperes. But if you are giving 10 amperes or 20 amperes, what happens to the device? It will get damaged. The whole circuit will get damaged or burnt. It will get burst. Yes or no? So what we will do is here we will insert one more device called fuse. Okay, so fuse actually has a thin metallic wire. It has a thin metallic wire whose melting point is very, very less. Okay, and in case if 5 amperes of current is flowing, say the fuse can hold around 5 amperes of current. Through a fuse, how much of current can flow? 5 amperes of current can flow. Okay, so definitely whatever 5 amperes or 4.5 amperes of current is flowing, it will flow through the fuse, and then it will current will reach to the heater, it will start working. Okay, fine. In case if 10 amperes of current has generated in a circuit, okay, what happens is the 10 amperes of current first reaches fuse. It will reach fuse. More amount of current, right? So what happens to that high amount of current? More heat is produced, no? So this metallic wire will get melted off because we have taken a metallic wire with less melting point. So when more current, more than 5 amperes of current when it flows through the fuse, what happens? The metallic wire, you see the connection between the fuse and the device is broken. The metallic wire will get melted off. That's how you are breaking the circuit. Okay, so there is no connection, there is no wire now to carry a current from this end to the device, right? Your device is safe. Because if this 10 amperes of current flows through a device, your device will get damaged because its maximum capacity to hold is 4.5 amperes of current. But you are giving 10 amperes of current. If that goes here, from here to here, it will get burst off. But who is protecting the device which is there in between? The fuse is protecting. Got to know how it is protecting? Its capacity to hold is 5 amperes. Till 5 amperes of current generates in a circuit, it can carry the current from this end to the device through the metallic wire that is there inside. But if more amperes, more than 5 amperes, that is 10 amperes are given to a fuse, so what happens? The metallic wire will get melted off, the circuit connection will get broken. Okay, so that your device can be safer. Fuse will burn, fuse will get damaged, but the device is safe. This is how fuses always protect the costly electrical equipments which are there in our houses. So each and every equipment is connected to fuses only. Refrigerator, TV, ACs, all these costly equipments are connected to fuses. Because in case of high current, what happens? Fuse will protect the device. Okay, so fuse undergoes a damage here. That way the fuse is actually protecting the device. So this is another important application of the Joule's law of heating, that is heating effect of electric current. Okay, so first one is iron box, heater, oven, all these work on Joule's law of heating. Second one is electric bulb, where the tungsten has very high resistance, so large amount of heat is generated. So much large amount of heat is generated that ultimately that hot condition is responsible for emitting a light. That's how the bulb glows. And the third one is about fuse. Fuse is the one which actually protects the devices by stopping the high flow of current. Okay, you can just understand the example that I gave you. So with this, I am completing this session. In my next session, let us meet up with the last and final topic of a chapter called power and energy. Along with that, we will solve some exercise numericals in the video. Right? So till then, take care, keep revising a concept. Please like, share and subscribe our channel to learn the concepts in the easiest way and in a detailed way. Thank you so much.